Hey guys, it's Ox here and welcome back to my channel. We are back with, of course, another Switch review, and I'm grinding my way back up, and I'm sorry for some delayed uploads, but here we are back with some new switches from Epomaker. So today, let's all take a look and listen at the Wisteria linear switch. By the way, this switches was sent for review by Epomaker, but I wasn't paid to make the video, so of course, I'll give you guys my honest and unbiased opinion about the Wisteria switches. I'll put all of Epomaker's link on the description down below. Now, a quick background about the Wisteria switches. Basing it on the name, these was inspired by a plant called Wisteria that features a purple color, and in most cultures, it symbolizes good luck. So I hope I have more luck in life once I place this on my keyboard. Now the switches comes in only pre-factory lube, and I do expect a lot since Epomaker stated that it has that self-lubrication when being typed on, so I really expect a smooth typing experience out of the box. Plus, hey, the colors of the switches looks really good, and even the packaging looks really nice. So for a quick material breakdown on the Wisteria switches, we have a polycarbonate for the top housing, PA on the bottom housing, and for the stems, it's very interesting as they are using POM plus PTFE. Now the springs, it's an extra long spring with a 20.4mm and has a 45-gram actuation force. So in today's video, it's going to be the usual, but there won't be a stock versus lube comparison as the switches are already pre-factory lube. But we'll be having a switch comparison versus other Epomaker switches and other linear switch. Now, if you want to hear my thoughts and opinion about the switch, please do stick around at the end of the sound test, or feel free to check the timestamps. And speaking of sound test, let me give you guys a quick disclaimer before we start. That the sound and experience will vary depending on your keyboard build, meaning to say that it will sound and feel different depending on your board. We'll be, of course, using the Vega 65 with a polycarbonate plates, one plate foam, and no case foam. Switches as a pre-factory lube, and the keycaps that was used was a Domi key set. So with all of that out of the way, please do enjoy the sound test on the Wisteria switches. And that was the sound test for the Wisteria linear switch. If you made it up to this point of the video, I'd like to say thank you for staying, and please do let me know what you think about the switches on the comment section down below, and let's have some quick discussions. And now let's all talk about my thoughts and opinion about the switch. Now finally, let's talk about my thoughts and opinion about the feel. As expected, just like the last Epomaker switches that we have reviewed, the pre-factory lube on these didn't disappoint. It's really smooth out of the box. Now, I did find some inconsistency here and there, but not to the point that it would really bother you, and I can honestly say that you can use them out of the box right away. Now, if you plan to lube them, I suggest to just only lube them lightly on the stem rails. But honestly, I think you wouldn't find the need to lube them once you tried it out of the box. It didn't have that raw and dry plastic feeling when typing, and it didn't feel any leaf crunch, so kudos for Epomaker for being consistent on their pre-factory lube switches. Typing feel wise, I did find it a bit light for my liking or preference, and with a 45-gram bottom out force, it has a bit of an aggressive and fast bottom out, but I can say that some of you will get used to it, maybe give it a day or two of typing. Now, the thing that I like about the typing feel would be the long springs, as it gives that snappier return that I'm really accustomed to and seems fit well on my linear preference. Although I really wish that the actuation or the bottom out force has bit more on the heavy side, but nonetheless, the switches has that very satisfying linear feel to it, and it's very good for its price considering it already has a pre-factory lube. Now moving on to my thoughts on the sound. On stock or the pre-factory lube, I didn't hear any leaf and spring pings and didn't hear any scratches. It sounds consistent throughout the days that I've tried it, and it didn't have that raw plastic sound to it. Same as the feel, you can really use them out of the box. Sound wise, it has that thin, clacky, and snappy sound profile to it, and it doesn't sound as aggressive as the Flamingo and the Lubed switches, but it sounds a bit thinner compared to the two. If ever you'll find this a bit clacky for your linear preference, that's a time that I would recommend to lube them to further tone down them a bit and have that more subtle, clacky sound profile. For me, honestly, I find the sound a bit too light for my preference, but don't get me wrong, I know a lot of people that likes this kind of sound profile, so it would really depend on your preference. Overall, I find the switches okay, and I'm still impressed on how smooth it is out of the box with the pre-factory lube. I just hope that the bottom out force and the actuation force was a bit more on the mid to heavy side, as I find the typing feel a bit light at times and the sound profile a bit thin. But don't get me wrong, they sound and feel decent for what it is. I can say that if you are really drawn to the color and loves a light linear switch, you can pick this up, and if ever, as I always recommend, grab one pack first, as 30 pieces would be enough for you to try on your alphas and modifiers, and if ever you'd like the switch, you can go from there. I also wish that Epomaker can, in the future, can offer their switches in packs of 10 so that people have the option to try it first before fully committing. But yeah, again, if you want a best out-of-the-box experience, you can add the Wisteria Switches on the list of linear switches to try. And that is it for the video, guys. I hope you all enjoyed the review on the Wisteria Switches by Epomaker, and I hope you find it helpful. If you do, please don't forget to hit the like button, as it helps out my channel grow. So what's next? Well, we still have the Mons Geek M2, and I promise you it's coming very soon for the review, so stay tuned for that. Again, don't forget to hit the like button, share if you want, and of course subscribe for more, and I'll see you guys on the next sound test. Peace.